Young Turks, new sponsor, Squarespace. Go Squarespace. Wait, is that a square? Representative Peter King of New York is going to take over the chairmanship of the House Homeland Security Committee starting in January. He thinks, of course, and has said on many occasions, the Democrats are weak on terrorism. And he actually, one of the things he plans to do once he takes over is start an investigation of, quote, the radicalization among American Muslims. So you don't have to be guilty of anything. If you're just a Muslim in America, he's going to start an investigation of you just to see if you are radicalized.
You're about to get to a piece about Peter King support, unambiguous support for terrorists in Northern Ireland. Mm-hmm. At the time that they were committing aggressive acts of terrorism and killing people. Just so we remember about Peter King telling Sean Hannity in 2004 that no American Muslim leaders are cooperating in the war on terror. No, zero. 80 to 85% of mosques in this country are controlled by Islamic fundamentalists. And I get the feeling Peter King knows a lot about Muslims. And then he says, I'll stand by that number, 85%. There is an enemy living among us. And then in 2007, telling Politico, there are too many mosques in this country.
Yeah, just too many.
Yeah.
By the way, of course, if you couldn't figure it out, the 80 to 85% number, totally and completely made up.
Made up. But he's standing by it.
He's standing by it. And of course, not even remotely true.
And of course, the weird thing, so not surprising in a sense that his views are totally off skew, and he's the least competent guy to lead the Homeland Security Committee on Homeland Security. The worst. Every member of Congress would be better than leading this.
Peter King didn't mind terrorism when it was done by the IRA. There's journalist Alex Massey has done some great reporting on this and brought up stuff that honestly I did not know until now. In the 1980s, King was a prominent fundraiser for NORAID, which was the Irish American organization that raised money for the IRA.
And ran guns.
Yeah, they were suspected of running guns to Ulster. Fun for everybody. That literally helps them commit acts of terrorism in that time, which they were. NORAID also then raised money to help King win his seat in Congress originally. To give you a sense of how fervent King was on this issue, in the same year that the IRA had launched a bomb that killed 8 people in London's Hyde Park, he gave a speech saying, in 1982, in Nassau County, at a pro-IRA rally, where he said, we must pledge ourselves to support those brave men and women who at this very moment are carrying forth the struggle against British imperialism in the streets of Belfast and Derry. So at a pro-IRA rally saying, hey, what they're doing, those brave men and women are doing in the streets is great, as they are exploding bombs, killing people.
Unquestionably, if you want to go too far, you compare it to the 19 hijackers who thought they were fighting American imperialism. But you know what? It's too much. Mm-hmm. But what is not unfair is Afghans and members of the Taliban planting roadside bombs to fight against American and British imperialism, which is exactly how they see it.
Or Hamas doing bombings against what they view as Israeli imperialism
and occupation.
Now, we're not justifying any of it. Peter King justified it when the IRA did it. Okay? He said, well, they're just fighting British imperialism. What are they going to do? I get money from them. That's fantastic. And I raise money for them.
And
Now, just for a second, if you take out the word IRA, as Justin Elliott suggests in Salon magazine, and put in the word Hamas,
and raised the money.
And raised money for them and gave speeches at pro-Hamas rallies, you would literally be arrested in America.
Yeah,
that's aiding and abetting terrorism. Okay? But if it's the IRA, I guess it's fine.
Not a big deal.
Because of course, what was I thinking? The IRA, they're not Muslims. I forgot that little part. No, yeah. Peter King aided and abetted terrorism and has zero credibility to talk about any of this stuff. And he is now your chairman of your House Homeland Security Committee. Enjoy Republican rule. New sponsor at the Young Turks, Squarespace. They help you build websites. They've got 24/7 support, and they've built some of the largest websites in the world.
They have an iPhone app, so you can edit your website on the go.
TYT promo code, 10% off for the life of your order. Squarespace.